Well, the British government says it will help Kenya strengthen its key institutions ahead of the 2022 poll to ensure a free, credible and peaceful election. In an interview with NTV to mark International Day of Peace, the UK High Commissioner Jane Marriot said her government is also working with Kenyan partners to help mitigate some of the effects of COVID-19 on local communities. Joseph Warungu spoke to Joseph Omondi, the head of one of the organizations supporting institutional reform in Kenya, and High Commissioner Jane Marriot at her residence. This is an interview that will be coming right now, but this is where we wrap up our bulletin this hour. Many thanks for watching. My name is Zainab Ismail. Our sign language interpreter this evening was Flora Atieno. Have yourself a lovely night.
What's your assessment of the state of peace in the world today? Where are we at? What are your concerns?
What we see today in the world is that there are still a large number of conflicts. There's also a lot of peace and mediation attempts going on, including in Yemen, where I previously was ambassador. But what we're also seeing is that COVID has impacted very negatively on peace. So all of those underlying trends that were sort of less than positives, the intercommunal violence, gender-based violence, extremism recruitment, all of these are being exacerbated by COVID.
Joseph Omondi, state of peace in Kenya, what would you say about that today?
We are not peaceful, we are calm. And what we need now to do as a country is to make sure that we are a peaceful society. If you check Vision 2030, the Vision 2030 anchors peace and security, has a catalyst for growth and development.
When you say we're not peaceful, what do you mean?
The High Commissioner has rightly put it. COVID-19 has really impacted negatively on issues to do sexual and gender-based violence. It has also increased the inequality that has been there. In a state where there is inequality, there's a recipe for conflict.
Why does peace in Kenya matter so much in the region?
I mean, Kenya is an anchor country in a sort of challenging neighbourhood. So particularly with Somalia over there, Kenya's got a really important regional, and from 2021 when it takes a seat on the Security Council for 2 years, a global role as well as a Pan-African and regional role in promoting peace and security. And as a permanent member of the Security Council, the UK is really looking forward to working with Kenya on a whole range of issues. But where you see women and men involved, and sometimes children as well, hearing the voices of children, can be really important to ensuring a sustained peaceful solution.
What would you say in terms of efforts at reducing conflict in the society today? Where are we at?
What we are trying to look at is how do we take advantage of devolution and encourage leadership at the county level to try to operationalize this national peace policy, taking into consideration their own contexts and making sure that there are guidelines that are passed in their own assemblies and a budget the same, so that we are able to reconstitute and also capacity build peace structures at the local level. Because these issues, we need to make sure that it's only not donor driven, but we own it at the county level.
This county is already struggling with other things, financial and so on. So where does peace rank in terms of priorities or even capacity to deal with it?
The counties should realize that in their own programming, for somebody to come and invest in the county, there must be peace in that particular county. So they really need to invest in peace. There's no substitute for peace. For growth and development, they really need to invest in peace.
Okay.
Can I leap in on that?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm a really big fan of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Water, food, rest, the ability to sort of sleep and reproduce, the very basic necessities. But the layer above that, which is still in basic needs, is security and stability. And you've got to have that before you can have sort of certainty of jobs and family and a peaceful environment. You need to know that you can sleep at night peacefully. And across the world, there are lots of people who still can't do that.
The pandemic has actually worsened inequalities in societies. You've seen criminal gangs who take advantage of, the vulnerabilities that have been created by this pandemic. How are governments dealing with it?
Here in Kenya, the government's national peace building plan about how you try and sort of build back better through and after COVID, if we ever get to a point where there's an after COVID, I think is really, really important. So, you know, the framework is there, the theory is there as ever. It's now about the implementation, and that's where I hope the UK can continue to be a good partner to Kenya.
For you, Joseph, what have you seen in terms of impact of COVID on not just inequalities, but then there is also the resultant security concerns that arise out of that?
Through the Reinvent program and the support from the UK government, what we are trying to do, we are bringing the police, we are bringing the non-state actors like Red Cross coming on board, we are bringing the NGOs together, making sure that one, in case of survivors or victims of gender-based violence, how can they get help? How can they get justice?
What is your assessment of our journey for the next two years? Are you concerned?
We are concerned as a nation because we have very divisive narratives about the so-called referendum. There is also the early campaigns. I know the Americans are going to the election in the next 2 months, but theirs is not so much intensive as ours, which is 2 years to come. We really need, for example, strong electoral reforms, strong political parties, because through these political parties, their primaries create some conflict that transcend to the general elections. We're also going to look at the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. We want to make sure that they are strong enough and they're also given space to bite.
Okay.
Yeah.
And final word, High Commissioner, what are your hopes for this nation on the journey that lies ahead, leading on to the elections, and perhaps even the UK's role in ensuring a peaceful transition of power when the time comes?
I think Kenya's it's such an important country. It's got such an important role, as I say, in sort of regional, continental and global stability and security. The theme I hear time and time again when I'm speaking to Kenyans, I was in Kibera the other week, Mombasa Old Town last week, it's, you know, we don't want violence. We don't want a repeat of 2007. Nobody wants a repeat of that, but there are you know, trends that are disturbing and are leading in that direction. So the role of the UK, as I very much seen it, is to work in partnership with Kenya and to help Kenya and the government build up the institutions so that they can deliver a free, fair, transparent, accountable and believable election result.
High Commissioner Joseph Omondi, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you very much.